How could I just lose control? Is it right? Is it wrong to stand so close? At the bar, sweaty clothes, it's obvious. I know. Will you ever know? Can't believe wanna get somewhere, but here, take me out to an alleyway. Kissing you, kissing me is perfect and surreal, but it's a fact.
A tier 3 sub.
Don't we find some real to me? Wanna give you anything. Maybe time will let me know if you're a fantasy. I hope that you will be, but it's only in my dreams that you never leave me. Take me, take me, take me. Let the fantasy take me, wanna stay away, but I need to have you near. Give me more, give me love, give it all. Are you real? Want to breathe slow. Let me dream on. It's about a sea. Don't you feel so real to me? Wanna give you anything. Maybe time will let me know if you're a fantasy. I hope that you will be, but it's only in my dreams that you never leave me. Take me, take me, take me. Let the fantasy take me, take me. Let the fantasy take me, take me.
TOS today on stream.
The Twitch news guy.
Breaking news on what the fuck's going on in our sphere.
The source for streamer Twitch information.
Your go-to person for Twitch news.
He does Twitch news.
All of the Twitch news, anything that has to do with like stream.
The best news on Twitch, you can get it from Zach. Zach is the best for Twitch news.
Yeah, I get all my Twitch info from Zach.
Dude, for real.
Ladies and gentlemen, Zach Bussey, if you don't know. Zach Bussey got the best Twitch news on the internet.
Fantastic informational things about everything and anything Twitch.
The go-to for everything Twitch.
I see a post and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna learn something. It's gonna be smart things that I'm gonna learn. And he literally actually cares about the Twitch community.
I like to call him the Adrian Wojnarowski of Twitch.
The best Twitch news on Twitch. You're that guy that knows everything about Twitch.
You guys want to know what's going on with Twitch and what's coming on in the future, stuff like this, that's the man you want to follow and that's the man you want to watch.
Best place to get Twitch news, period.
The Twitch news extraordinaire.
Zach Bussey, best Twitch journalist to ever do it.
Indeed.
It's funny, I get most of my Twitch news from Zach.
I mean, if you ask me, he's more attractive than Devin Nash or that Slosher guy.
Oh, it's Zach Bussey.
Zach Bussey.
Zach Bussey.
Bussey, 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 Bussey.
Oh man.
unmuted.
Live
Good.
around the world from the
Good.
TOS.GG studio. Please welcome the host of Today on Stream, Zach Bussey.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. How you guys doing today? Hope you guys are doing well. It is Tuesday, the 20th of January, and we have a great show planned for today because we're going to be taking a look at the Twitch CEO and the head of Kick, anyways, make some predictions about the future of live streaming. We have to, unfortunately, watch a video from the LSF mod that lost their job. They've made some kind of retort, I suppose. So we will watch it. Devin Nash has a new video bringing up existential dread on YouTube, and I can probably predict exactly what it's going to be in far fewer words, because I think I've said it a million times on the stream itself. And if there is time, r/Twitch, our monthly review. We haven't done it for January yet, so we're a little bit behind the times, but that's okay. That's okay. But hi, everybody. Welcome in. Reg, nice to see you. Hi, Solipsis. Hi, Dimitri. Dimitri's watching over on the YouTube stream. That is, in fact, true and real. We do have a YouTube stream that you can watch this stream on as well. For whatever reason, if it's blocked at work, if you're trying to punish Dan Clancy, if you get an ad on this stream and you're like, I don't want ads, I'm going to go to the other one instead. There is a YouTube stream that you can watch this exact same stream on. You do have to click the like button there. We don't have a like button here on Twitch, but you do have a like button over there, and you do have to click on it. That is the deal that we make. Hi, Storm Chaser. Hi, Link. Sheol, welcome in. How mad is Zach that Sale didn't make a response video about him? Not mad at all. I don't care. I don't care. Hi, Davkine. Hi, Sans. Hi, Lucifer. VK, welcome in. Welcome in. Hi, Tcan. How are you? Tcan, are you live right now? I feel like you're always live these days. Good for you, by the way. Good for you. Dimitri, thank you very much for the 15 stream streak, double digits. That is the second double digit streak that you can actually achieve, so very impressive. Hi, Dr. Han, welcome in. Hi, Surstis. Surstis with a 10 stream streak. We recognize those. We appreciate those. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome in. Welcome in. And Wextex, thanks so much for the 45-month resub. Goddamn, at tier 3. Holy shit. Thank you very much, Wextex. Sincerely far too kind. Holy shit. And Growly Bear coming in with 13 months resub as well. So I appreciate that, guys. Thank you. Thank you. So many videos, so little time, 24-hour stream. I know, Dimitri. It's always the problem here is that there's so many videos. I actually have a backlog of videos that go back to like September of things that I've been wanting to watch. And I just go, well, we can't do that anymore. We can't do it. There's always a new video. It's the problem with current day content is that there's always more. How do you maintain? Oh, and the 100 bits. True. And the 100 bits. No text to speech on that? I don't understand. But thank you. Thank you. Zach, do you realize Christmas is over? No, it is not. Christmas is over once I have my Christmas. I don't have Christmas until literally this Saturday coming up. And then it'll be Christmas is over. So yeah, until that occurs, these presents are all real presents that I need to take out and take with me up to my parents' place. And then once that is done, then the space is cleared out and I can get rid of the other Christmas stuff. But it's a whole process. It's a whole process. It has to go that way. Anyways, let me switch over to the main scene here. We're going to take a look at the same thing together. I need a haircut as well. Damn it. Oh, I don't have a lower third. Yes, I do. There we go. There we go. Perfect. We're going to get right into it. Oh, God, it's so bright. We're going to get right into it because I don't have a lot of time and we have a lot of things that we actually have to do today. So we're just going to jump right into it here. Axios, I know, TCAN, terrible. Axios came out with this little report today, which I think is kind of intriguing. And I would like to see the wider context of when this was asked and where it was asked. I have never heard of Maxwell Millington before. It sounds like a fake name. I'm going to say it's AI, but maybe not. Maybe it is a real person. Let's see if it actually is. Maxwell Millington. Yeah, no links to anything. Is that a real person? Search. How do I search by image? Is there a way you can search by image? I know that I just said that. Hey, I have to be super. Oh, I guess it is a real person. Entertainment and sports guy for Axios. All right. Look at the CEO of Twitch and the exec from Kick about the future of live streaming. All right. Well. Hi, Ship. How are you? Welcome in. Welcome in. Live streaming's next act goes far beyond gaming, which for anybody who has been paying attention for the last couple of years, this has always been what Twitch has been focusing on. They have not focused on gaming content in quite some time. I personally feel like the era of Twitch going, let's focus on this platform as a gaming platform, ended sometime around 2019, though it could have dated back to 2018. I think the thing that kept it in the loop at the time was Fortnite's success. And they saw a kind of a rush of people. Actually, let's just pull it up here. They saw a rush of people that came into the streaming space at around that time. Yeah. So 400,000 average viewers coming into... Oh, this is just the Fortnite channel. I was going to say, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. That is their official channel, but I need the actual category. That's the one. There we go, yeah. So here you go. The overall peak of Fortnite was July of 2018. So I have a feeling that Twitch's overall decision to kind of go, hey, how can we not be a gaming platform, probably started sometime in this era of Twitch, 2016, 2017, with a longer term plan to actually be like, okay, let's focus on non-gaming content. And you saw that right a few years before with the introduction of IRL and how that kind of changed the overall platform. I think this just delayed things, and now we are absolutely seeing that Twitch is going full board into the world of non-gaming content being the priority for the platform. Priority for the platform. And if you look at Twitch through the context of that lens, I think that a lot of the other things that they're doing, especially with like the mobile app copying TikTok, makes more sense, because if you land on Twitch and you're in that kind of feed, it's really not going to be that interesting if you're looking at gaming content. They want non-gaming content in there because I think it's instantly more relatable to an audience of people that have never been on Twitch before. So let's see what they have to say here overall. Live streaming's next act goes beyond gaming. Online live streaming is shifting from a hub of gaming-centric content to a critical part of media strategy for entertainers, athletes, and even politicians. So if you ask Twitch, and if you've listened to any of the things that I've said here over the last couple of years, especially in the last like 6 months, this is Twitch's strategy. This, I believe, is their Hail Mary strategy to focus on basically non-gamers and try to get as many celebrities on the platform as possible, with the hopes being, hey, if celebrities are on this platform, they have millions of followers on TikTok and Instagram and Twitter and YouTube. Maybe they'll come to Twitch. And as I've said repeatedly, maybe I should make an entire video on this one. But the unfortunate reality of Twitch is I don't think it's the same skill set. I don't think it's the same level of entertainment and engagement that is going to keep celebrities streaming. And I think that's going to be the big question that Twitch needs to answer. How do you create an environment that actually brings people into Twitch and then keeps them on Twitch as the viewer, but for all these celebrities and obviously that's a critical part of it overall, but for all of these celebrities, athletes, entertainers, politicians, how do you get them to commit to streaming on Twitch and continuing to regularly stream on Twitch? Because that is the perennial problem, that anytime that they've had celebrities on this platform, more often than not, they show up and they disappear after one stream or two streams, or they stream once every 6 months. And the reality of Twitch, which is good advice for anybody,
A big raid.
which is good advice for anybody, is that if you are a creator, the most important thing that you can do is be consistent. Obviously have your content, obviously have your plans, obviously have community building stuff, but if you want to actually build an audience, you have to be consistent. That has been recommended advice for 10 years now, when the first kind of people who popped up in the overall streaming space to say, here's what you do to succeed on Twitch and in streaming. It was be consistent, have a schedule, and stick to it. And that is still true today. So how do you get these people that have busy lives, and Twitch doesn't necessarily have those hooks that keep people engaged in terms of streaming, to continue streaming? That's the big question here. Ninja, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in. How are you doing? Welcome in. Nice to have you here. Hi Tianmar. They could rebrand to Justin TV. Hi Quiz King. Welcome in. Hi Eteria. Welcome. Well, what is the good advice and what are the predictions? Well, we're finding that out. eChef, thanks so much for the 25 stream streak. That is big. Ninja, how was your stream? Hopefully your stream went well. Welcome in everybody coming in from Ninja's stream. My name is Zach. On this stream, we talk about what's going on in the creator space with obviously we're on Twitch. We have to talk a lot about what's going on Twitch. On whether that is the business, that is stories, that is sometimes drama, and just kind of talking about the overall creator space itself. Right now, we're going through a Axios article here that has an interview, predictions from the Twitch CEO and somebody who works at Kick on what's actually coming next. And it's providing an interesting jump-off point for things that we've been talking about here for a while. Isaac, welcome in. Great name, fantastic name. Spent some time today talking about YouTube's new stance on ads with controversial topics. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, that is an interesting choice in terms of where, it shows a confidence level that YouTube has in their overall ability to line up advertisers with the actual people, and they have the demand from advertisers to line up with people who are interested in those kind of controversial topics. Because from both angles, for people who want to advertise on that content and for YouTube, they don't want just content that they can't monetize. And so it does make sense that they would try to figure out, okay, what point do we have an alignment here that allows us to connect advertisers with content that has been ad-free? How do we fix that? Because we don't want to lose money on this content overall. So, but their confidence in that, in that belief that they can properly figure out context of those videos is interesting. It is interesting. It probably applies to a lot of other things. Christian Ninja, just for introductions, I'm a full-time content creator, executive director of Streamer Network, Taco, the Alliance for Creator Outreach. Stream was good. Finally finished Claire Obscure. Took 700 endings. God damn, that's a lot of endings. That's got a lot of endings. I've not played that game. I know that everybody loves it. Won a bunch of awards. And it does look nice, but I've not had a chance to play it yet. I am early for once, and he didn't share the predictions yet. Is this the apocalypse? Exactly. Trying to figure out why we can do some really controversial stuff, but not others. I use Gemini, and it was basically advertisers can handle the other stuff, but nothing about kids. Yeah. Hi, Lagshan. Welcome in. All right. So let's continue here. Again, entertainers, athletes, and even politicians. The bigger picture, there are over 21 million active streamers on Twitch. Let us verify that. We always like to double check a Twitch stat because too often their overall stats are from 2021 or 2022 when they're at their peak of popularity. Let's see. I need to go into channels. I need to go into the 365 of 2025. Active channels, 18.8 million. 18.8 million. We go back to 2022, 22 million. So, yeah. Twitch's overall stats are often slightly out of date. 20 million in 2024, 2023, 20.5. So they definitely took a 2022 stat there. So they're a little bit out of date. The overall number of creators has been dropping consistently year over year. You can actually see that here, represented by the number of average channels that were live over the course of 2025. That means at every minute of every hour of the day, whether it's 7 p.m. or midnight, no matter the day, there has on average been 86,000 channels that were live. 86,000 channels that were live over the course of 2025. If we go back to 2024, you can see that was at 95,000 roughly. 2023, 94.4. 2022, 93,000. 2021, 104,000. And of course, 2020, 87.6 thousand. So if we go back to 2019 pre-pandemic, that gives you a pretty good comparison point on where we were prior to the pandemic to where we are now. 432 million hours streamed compared to 2025, 759 million hours streamed. So just under double, but almost double the amount of channels that are live. So people are streaming a little bit less, but there are more people streaming. Hi, Eggsbury. Welcome in. BTS go live quite frequently as individuals and as a group, which is really important in popular engagement, but their company uses their own live streaming platform, which is paid extras, live real-time translated subs. That is a really smart thing for to do. I wonder what platform they use, and I'm be curious if it is powered by Amazon. If it is powered by Amazon, which, again, there's a bunch of different services that basically use Twitch's overall systems. They white labeled it, and then they make it available to create your own white label version of it. So I am curious about that, Eggsberry, and I'll have to take a look at that after stream here. Hi, Kilobyte. Hi, Ghost Beast. Welcome in. Jonas felt less active this month so far. Let's take a look. Let's just look at the last 30. Well, the last 30 days is not going to be a good comparison point because it would factor in for Christmas and for New Year's. So let's do 14 days. Again, this is also not going to be a fair comparison point. I don't think there's a fair way to do this. I don't think there's a fair way to do this. Oh, okay, that's down. Cool. Okay, no, it's back. Okay. 2.1 so far on average this month. 2.1 million average viewers, which is slightly more than December. Again, not surprising. We talk about this often in that January always is a spike up compared to the month prior. And it typically, not always, ends up being either the top or the second most popular viewership month of the year. So having a really strong start is often really important. You can see 2025 started up here. They lost about 20%. 2023 ended up being stable. 2024, they lost 10%. 2022, they lost a lot. They lost a lot that month. Hi, Ernesto. Welcome in. It's called Weavers, owned by Hype Entertainment for all their labels, but I'm not sure how it's powered, so it would be interesting. Exbury, I'm definitely going to take a look into that. Because now I'm interested as well. The big picture. There are over 21 million active streamers on Twitch. There are 18.5 million active streamers on Twitch, with a nearly 20% increase year over year in athlete and celebrity streams. I have been pointing this out for a while. Twitch's entire focus right now is on celebrities. They don't care about the average creator. They want celebrities. We even read this article, the last stream that I was on, this one right here, where they basically went through all the various celebrities that were streaming on Twitch. Fred again, Justin, maybe this is just music streamers. Ty Dolla $ign, Diplo, DDG, Major Lazer, Kim Petras, All American Reject, Snoop Dogg, Ice Spice. And we looked at every single one of those streams, and about 80% of them streamed one time and never again. So again, I'm not sure what Twitch's long-term strategy is here. I hope they do figure that one out, because an increase in celebrity streamers is great if they stick around. And if they don't, it's a flash in the pan. There's no follow-through. Last year, the industry saw audiences flock to their favorite platform to stream in-person events from Coachella to boxing matches. The final show of Bad Bunny's Puerto Rico residency was #1 music stream of the year on Amazon Music and Twitch. State of Play, Twitch CEO Dan Clancy and Ethan Wright, director of Kick, the new name. I've not actually heard that name before. Kick. Oh, I have heard this name. Okay, I do know who this is. Never mind. I do know who that is. Director of Kick told Axios, State of Play, Twitch CEO Dan Clancy and Ethan Wright, director of Kick, told Axios which trends they expect to see in 2026. So what is on the horizon for 2026? Dan Clancy, more and more people realizing that live streaming is a critical part of how they think about their presence, whether they're an entertainer, an athlete, or an influencer. Oh dear. So even in that statement right there, you can see where Twitch's priorities lie. You can already see where Twitch's priorities lie. If you care about your presence, whether you're an entertainer, an athlete, or an influencer, they're looking for people who already have established audiences. If you are trying to be a creator on Twitch, you are not their priority. So this is what Twitch is kind of focusing on. Again, they're not saying that they don't want people to start streaming on Twitch or to try to be creators, try to be the next Burnt Peanut, try to be the next Queso, try to be the next Ninja, whoever. But they are saying that from where they're thinking about it, at least according to this, they're thinking more about people who already have an audience going, I need to be more aware of where I'm actually creating content in order to connect with my audience. That's because as more people experience it, they understand the magic of live streaming and this authentic engagement with your fans and turning those fans into a community. All right. Wright, who's over on Kick, says successful platforms will be those that empower creators to monetize in diversified ways. This is kind of a tale of two cities here, in that Clancy and Twitch are thinking, how do we get celebrities on our platform to grow our overall audience? Wright is thinking, and this is not a surprise if you have looked at any of Kick's marketing, how do you make more money? How do you make more money? And that is why Kick does a lot of marketing on their 95.5 split, because that is their unique selling position. That is the thing that they can offer to a potential creator that Twitch simply cannot. Twitch takes 50% of your revenue. I think platforms that balance freedom and safety are really going to build some trust in the sector. Again, this is just Kick talking points. You can do and say what you want. We have significantly less moderation than you do on Twitch. However, I am going to say, Twitch is dropping the ball. Twitch is, over the last year especially, has really decided, you know what? What if we just are like Kick? They have done a lot of hollowing out of their overall trust and safety departments, even further than what they had. Now it feels like anytime that you reach out to support, you get an AI response. You can gamble on Twitch on cryptocurrency platforms that are not named Stake, and it is some top creators are doing it. You can have a gambling sponsorship for a cryptocurrency platform on Twitch, and Twitch does nothing about it, even if you report it. It really has come to a point, and this has always been the case with Twitch, in that you can do anything on this platform, but if there's somebody who reports you, then you might actually get in trouble. Okay? So it does rely on kind of hate watching in order to handle their trust and safety. Now, that's not even true. Now you can still, I hate watch some people, and I'll report them for something, and nothing happens. Now, granted, I'm not actually hate watching. I'm just trying to check the overall systems in play to go, oh, do they actually respond? Do they actually care about this? Is there an enforcement time frame? For example, if somebody says something really, really shitty in chat, like some racism or sexism or some other bullshit, and you report them, the actual time frame from submitting of your report to an actual action, if there is an action, is about 7 to 8 minutes, which isn't bad, but it's not great. And then if you just report somebody who's doing crypto cam, if you report somebody, because I know this, because I did this one as well, if you report somebody who is doing cryptocurrency gambling on Stake, Twitch doesn't take action on it. So even if their own rules literally outline you can't gamble on Stake on this platform, and again, it is what it is, they still don't take action. So that's the kind of place that we're in right now, where the overall idea of balance and freedom and safety, I think this is going to be less impactful for Kick moving forward, because Twitch is basically ceding the high ground and saying, yeah, you know what, let's just get this, let's go loosey goosey. Let's unban some people. Let's get some people that we've permabanned or indefinitely banned to allow them back on the platform. Let's just kind of chill on that overall. Hi, Pixie Doe. Hey, Supersonic. Did I miss anything? No, not too much. Hi, DJ Sproggy. Katie, welcome in. So critical that they try it once and never come back. Hi, Aeon. Serotonin, hello. Thus, they solved the Discovery Bill. Exactly, Pixie, exactly. So what you're saying is I should leave Twitch, become a celebrity, and then never come back, because why would I be a celebrity? Why would I, as a celebrity, spend my time on Twitch? Serotonin abuse. That's actually something that I have said for years, is that the best way to succeed on Twitch is to have a large following somewhere else. Trying to grow alone on Twitch and relying on the discovery methods that exist here is incredibly difficult. Incredibly difficult. Your best chance of success in that overall situation is that you have joined a lot of other communities. You are an active member as a mod or a VIP in a bunch of other chats, and your success is derived, or at least your initial success is derived from those connections that actually bring you some level of audience that allow you to escape from the hellhole of 5 to 6 viewers, because that's 90% of the platform is less than 5 or 6 viewers. So once you're above that, now you actually have a little bit of chance to breathe. And then at that point, you have to be entertaining, engaging, interesting, educational, etc. That sets you apart, where people are hooked on your overall content and want to keep coming back. Hi, Bat. But yeah, otherwise, if you are successful on another platform, that is probably the best way to become successful on Twitch. Looks like Dan can't see how celebrities behave. Will they put on the effort to build a community? That's the question. I don't think they will. Because the same problem every single small and starting platform have. No one gives a fuck about making 95% revenue if there's no one to give you that to begin with. Correct. Yes. Yep. It's true. Hi, Rashul. Don't gamble on stake. Know your butchers. Hi, Help Lucky Baby. How are you? Unless you know Kai Cenat. Well, Kai Cenat, again, that's a kind of connection that can absolutely help. But it's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee. If you take a look at a lot of the people who were on Streamer University, many of them actually had their careers blow up from that. Some people did not. And I think that comes down to an opportunity is presented. And it doesn't mean that, again, it's kind of an audience misalignment, in that if you are somebody who is more chill, who plays video games, that's probably going to not necessarily relate to an audience of people who typically watch Kai Cenat or Rakai, and so forth. It's just an audience mismatch there. And so, yeah, even knowing Kai Cenat won't necessarily benefit your career if you don't actually have an audience match there, or your energy matches what he brings to his stream. Redeems make me a VIP, $100,000 channel points. That's not a thing. We don't have that. Hi, Patrick. How are you? What is Stake? It's a cryptocurrency gambling website that's banned on Twitch. There's an actual streamer university to study being a streamer? No. It was a content thing that was designed around the idea of being a streamer university, but that was just the name of it. What should streamers be doing in order to grow? Clancy from Twitch says, well, first of all, do something you enjoy. It's ultimately about connecting with people in chat. The magic for the viewer is that what happens on the stream depends in part on what's happening in chat, and that you're part of the creation, not just a spectator. Which, again, this is the thing that drives me nuts about Clancy. He has spent so much effort and time and focus on the idea of guest star, to then say things like this, which feels like it's out of my book of like why guest star is a piece of shit. And then he says that, and I just go, what the hell were you doing for 3 years? What the hell was the focus on guest star and then stream together? If you have that overall mentality. And I can only hope that he has managed to learn and grow, and perhaps has listened to me talk enough that he's like, oh yeah, he's right. What am I doing? Why am I doing this? Why am I trying to get creators to only interact with other creators? What am I doing? So hopefully he's recognized that fact. And this statement isn't just, coming out of left field here. Live streaming is all about exposing yourself and being authentic with your community and strengthening that connection. All right, fair enough. Right from Kick says creators should be diversifying their audiences. Whoops. Should be diversify. Where are we here? There it is. Right from Kick says creators should be diversifying their audiences. They should be trying every type of activity they can to get themselves traction. I don't like that advice. I don't like that. I mean, I do if you're a small creator. I like Clancy's answer better here. If you are a small creator trying to figure out how to grow in the streaming space, you do have to have something that you're passionate about. You do have to care. If you just are there playing a game that you're not really that interested in, and you're doing it because it's the latest game or whatever, it's going to translate to your stream. You're not going to be having fun. You're not going to be it's just not going to be interesting to watch. Secondarily, I think that everybody, when they start streaming, should have things that they can talk about nonstop for 2 hours. And it can be the same thing over and over again. I'm an example of that. I spend half of my streams talking about Twitch and the other half talking about creators. It kind of feels that way anyways. And so there's a lot of things that I go, remember when I said that before? We've been saying that for a while. It's a lot of repetition because it comes up a lot. There's only so many paths you can go down when you have a constant flow of similar things. But that's the thing that is actually I'm passionate about. I like talking about content creation. I like talking about Twitch. I like talking about live streaming. And so that's where I can sit here and talk and yap for 4 or 5 hours. Whereas for me personally, if my entire thing here was me playing a video game, I don't know that I'd be able to maintain that same level of energy and ability to talk. And so I think that that's something that people don't necessarily remember about streaming, is that even if you are playing a video game, there's probably something else that you can be talking about that will actually make it a little bit more engaging and entertaining to watch. Hi, Mr. New York to Cali. He says chat a lot for someone who doesn't read chat. He's always sucked at interacting with his chat. Yeah. Just shared chat in every case. Yeah. Hi, Blur. He's been hate watching Zach so long he's Stockholmed. I hope so. Popping out of alert to say we should find our niche. Hi, Q. Welcome in. Yes, of course. Did you see that Kai posted a video about Clancy type no accountability? Yes, I did. I shared it actually myself. But yeah, so when you are small, so I would actually say that both of these bits of advice are relevant. This one is probably going to be more relevant to a longer term career, in that if you want to have something that you enjoy doing for a long period of time, because keep in mind, streaming is going live and talking about something and doing something for multiple hours every single time that you do it. It doesn't have to be multiple hours, by the way. I think that most people stream too much when they start out. But this also is a good thing that when you are just getting started, finding something that you enjoy isn't necessarily just going live and going, all right, this is the game I'm playing, and I'm playing it every single day for the next 7 years. That's maybe also not the best idea overall. When you are small, or when you're just getting started, you can definitely try different things, see what you like, see what you don't like. There's less risk overall. If you build an audience of 20 people who are known for who are watching you because you stream Minecraft or Hytale, and then you immediately just randomly go, okay, now I'm going to start playing Battlefield 6. That's a pretty dramatic change of content if the reason why people are watching you play has been your overall focus on those actual games themselves. So there is more stakes as you grow to figure out how to transition into more random content, variety content rather. But when you're smaller, or when you're just getting started, there's no stakes like that. You can just kind of switch from day to day and figure out what you actually like the most, and then go from there. So I guess a combination of these two bits of advice are okay. I don't know if it's necessarily predicting the future, but it's all right. So you secretly want them to keep working on guest stars. See if something to complain about. No, there's other things I'm going to be able to complain about this year. Tell you that right now. I may like to show weird and random stuff from games that I play, which is usually not even enough to fill more than an hour a day most of the time. Yeah. So like that's the kind of interesting thing of like, if you can turn that into a regular kind of show of being able to show those things off. I think that does. By the way, do you post that to YouTube? I feel like that would be an interesting like series of like, here's the quirks from this type of game that you didn't even know about. I think there's some interesting stuff there. One thing that we can anticipate is Grand Theft Auto 6 hopefully releasing this year. I should have predicted this in my annual predictions. I don't think it's coming out this year. I hate to tell everybody. I know that they've delayed it till November of 2026. I think it's getting another delay. Do you have any thoughts about what content the game is going to bring? Why is that even a question? What is that? What is that even gonna? Kick, right, says GTA 6 is going to be monumental. It will revive a lot of the population who's probably more of a casual gamer, but all of the hardcore fans that you see now and we come to love and enjoy watching on platforms, they're absolutely going to be building communities pretty quickly. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true. What will live streaming look like? Oh, they didn't even ask Clancy? They didn't even ask Clancy. All right. What will live streaming look like 10 years from now? Clancy from Twitch says, people have device fatigue. And as the world and tech continue to evolve, my gut is that the need to connect with others in a real way and in a real time will only increase. Well, that doesn't really answer the question of what it's going to look like 10 years from now. But what I will say is what I have been saying all along, well, not all along, but at least for the last year, is that with the rise of AI-generated content, that is going to drive people away from those platforms. I think that the and I also think that partially some of it is also that it feels like a gimmick, and the gimmick is starting to wear out already. In that, I mean, once you see Stephen Hawking doing at the X Games, going in the half pipe, or you see John Travolta fighting Chuck Norris, or like any of those like AI generated nonsense, I feel like even though it's getting closer and closer to reality, I think as people we're increasingly going, all right, now what? It's a thing of like, we're becoming desensitized to the idea of all this stuff happening that I don't even think that people are going to care. And so as platforms like YouTube, and I think YouTube is going to be the big the case that really struggles significantly with this overall, because they've leaned so heavily into it. You can create AI content with VO3 directly within your Shorts composer. What's the actual term that I'm looking for? In the Shorts app, I guess. And they've leaned on it so much on like the inspiration tab and all this stuff, is that once they're basically programming the content for you in terms of telling you what you need to create, they're just going to create it themselves. And I think that is going to wear people out super, super fast. Same thing will be true on TikTok. The silliness of it, I think that has been the only thing of value that has been created with AI, is that it's kind of a spectacle. It's kind of silly. You see some ridiculous things. Even like the original Will Smith eating spaghetti, the reason that was memorable is because it was absurd. It was a spectacle. Now that you just see a video of him eating spaghetti, it's kind of like, all right. There's nothing really interesting about that. The absurdity is what made it interesting. Is what made it memorable. And so as people are more and more being inundated with AI content, I think our brains are going to go, I think I might just go outside, because the entire internet is filled with stuff that I can't believe is real, because it probably isn't, because it all looks the same. It all looks relatively real, all things considered. Maybe I just put down my phone for a bit. Maybe I just go outside where I can experience and have a real connection with somebody, where I can actually do something that is not going to be AI generated, and I know that it's going to be a real human experience. So I actually think that's a major risk for social media and content creators as a whole, is that this stuff is going to overwhelm your ability to create real human content. And that's why I think there's a slight benefit to live content, in that live content will be the last space for human content that is before it gets replaced by AI content. Videos, shorts, anything that is generated is going to be very easy to do, and it is already here. Live streaming will be the last holdout of that, and so I think that there will be an increased demand, because people do like listening to what other people have to say, or things that they have to talk about. There's a reason why content creators have become popular, but I just think that will be like the last holdout of content creators, is a live connection with their community. And I think that kind of time period to establish a relationship, establish a person or a reputation as being a real person, discovery based a discovery based reputation, and that you still can get found on TikTok, you still can get found on YouTube. I think that's going to get a lot harder in the years ahead. And so it's kind of like one of these interesting times of, I think that these systems designed to make content creation easier are ultimately going to be their significant decline overall. So yeah, in 10 years, I don't think this is again not necessarily an optimistic or hopeful take, but I don't think that the internet looks the same way that it does in terms of any kind of content. I don't think that people are necessarily as engaged in YouTube videos or TikToks or even live streams 10 years from now. There's my answer to that question. And Right From Kick says, the future is human-generated content. Again, I agree with that. It's just going to be hard to delineate between the two. And so rather than platforms that are currently labeling things as AI-generated, I think that we're going to have to figure out the opposite of that. How do we create systems that allow you to identify human-created content that doesn't have AI involved in it? I think that will be, because there's going to be a lot more of that, or there's going to be a lot less of that than there is AI-generated content. So I think that that's what people should actually focus on, rather than trying to label everything that is AI with AI-enhanced, AI-generated, those little AI labels that they throw everywhere. I think that's the wrong play. I think you do the reverse of that. Label things as human-made. As AI saturates platforms, live streaming is one of the hardest formats to replicate. Agreed. Okay, I agree with Right here. He was kind of wasn't batting great on the first couple questions, but this one, absolutely. In an increasingly synthetic internet, communities will form around content created live. Yep, I agree. Yeah. All right. An interesting little micro article here. Provides a little jump off point for some different things, and yeah. Not bad. My prediction is that after this gimmick phase ends and AI video generates gets a little bit better, it's going to be used primarily in ads. Oh, for sure. Big companies are jumping into AI in the next big thing, but why? If they see huge potential in it, then why pursue it? Only for it to crash and not work, as they may not be seeking the feedback of the community. It's like building something that people may not want, like, or don't use. Grace, I think it's kind of a situation, like the whole AI thing is kind of a existential crisis for a lot of businesses, in the sense of, here's this potential technology that may change everything. And if you don't do it, if you don't invest in it, then you are going to be left behind if it ends up succeeding. If the world moves towards AI generated content and there's and it helps your overall business and reduce costs and all that, you didn't invest in it at all, you're left behind. Your business is going to go bankrupt. Okay? And that's if it works. If you invest in it and it doesn't work, well, guess what? Your business is going bankrupt. Right? Because you put all this money and time and effort and so forth into it, and if it doesn't result in improvements in your profits or the ability to do things, and it doesn't work, you just invested in something, your company is now broke, you may go bankrupt, you may shut down. So the only play, and quite frankly, the stupid play, because there's other options, but that's how most of these companies seem to think, is that it's a binary option here. I invest in it, and if it doesn't succeed, if it does succeed, my business collapses. If I invest in it and it doesn't succeed, my business collapses. So the only option that they have to hope for is to not play the game. I don't invest in it. I hope that it fails. And typically, betting on technology failing is not historically been. There's not a lot of examples in history. I mean, there's some, but there's not a lot of examples in history of trying to go against the grain with technology and being like, yeah, we're not doing that, that it resulted in a positive outcome for that overall company. Again, there are examples like people who went for Betamax or Laserdisc? Anyways, there's a few over the years that have been like, okay, well, we're going all in on that one. and it didn't pan out. So most companies are not just going to sit on the sidelines and be like, yeah, we're not going to invest in that, and hope that it fails. It's just not how a company will function. But I do think that the inherent problem here is that if it succeeds, it redefines the overall economy where their business doesn't win anyway. It's a kind of thing of like, okay, let's say you end up becoming Facebook, or let's say you're YouTube, and AI generated content is a huge win, and now you can get any content and people are spending more time on it than ever, right? And it replaces all content creators because now YouTube can just generate the content that you're actually interested in, or you can generate the content that you're actually interested in. You don't need to have somebody else do it for you. Then who's watching? At a certain point, it's like any kind of addiction, is that you go, okay, well, you either have to up the ante or find something else. And I think that most people, as it relates to like content, like social video, will probably just go, all right, that's enough of that. I think they just burn out on it. And so now you've killed your business, even though it succeeded. And like, again, you apply that logic to the overall economy in terms of people spending, if it's going to be this massive improvement in people's ability to, for businesses to do profits with less workers, who's buying the shit, right? Who's buying the stuff? If you can lay off 90% of your workforce, that's 90% of people that can now no longer go and buy a new Dyson vacuum or subscribe to YouTube Premium. Or get a Netflix account and pay for Netflix, or buy some stuff from Amazon. Like the long-term effects of this is that if it does succeed, we kind of have a new god. There's a new god that's created from this that I think completely changes the overall nature of the existing structure of society that would probably break it. So I don't know the long-term play of any of this. So that's why, again, when I started to think about this, the ideas get too big, it gets too philosophical, it gets too wide overall in terms of how do you interpret all of these overall changes and what does it mean for society. So I try to narrow focus to keep it on the thing that I actually know, which is content creation. And in that realm, I kind of go, yeah, this is probably, you're poisoning the well of content creation. And that's why I can envision that live streaming will be the last holdout of people going like, I want to watch live content because I know that it's a real human person and not just an AI generated video of Godzilla fucking my mother. And then afterwards they have babies, and then those babies end up taking over Greenland from the U.S. invasion force, which the videos that I saw from the video before. This is crazy shit. Crazy shit. That's what's going to happen. It's going to be the most insane shit you can ever imagine. We already live in an insane time. Yeah. AI bots watching AI creators. Dead internet theory. Dead internet theory. Hi, Croc. So if the long-term play works out for AI, we get a Skynet or an iRobot situation. Exactly. I don't know what other path we get. Goes back to old X post. I want AI to do my dishes and clean my house so I have time to make art, not for it to make art so I can do my dishes. Yeah. AI can't do everything. Example, woodworking. You can get a machine to do sand mold cut boards. You still need a person to program to get the machine to do what you need it to do. Currently. And that's the argument, is that eventually you won't need, a lot of that stuff can't be done now, but eventually, theoretically it can. All you need is like a 3D image, and then it can take a look at that and figure out the overall angles and stuff. I know exactly what you're saying, by the way, in terms of like things like physical labor. Like they're not going to replace electricians or plumbers or so forth, right? But even then, I'm not so sure that in the I think in the long run, those things are going to be, we'll have an automated version of that. For example, this is something that I just learned about. There is a widely available gutter robot cleaning device that you put it into your gutter and it cleans out your gutters. And they're for sale, and that people buy them, and they're not cheap. It's not a cheap price, but that is a bit of manual. You still have to go up and put it into the overall gutter itself, so it doesn't do that. Okay, yeah, Roomba for a gutter. But there probably will come a. Oh, this product has been discontinued. But this is what I say is that there probably will end up becoming a time where this kind of stuff is manual labor things is slowly replaced, or at least made easier, where you don't need specialized. And I hope this is not the case, but you don't need specialized training in plumbing or electrician to be able to just go, hey AI, here's my or here you take your camera and show here's my overall layout for my my walls. Show me where the line is in it, and then it'll use scan it. Anyways, there just seems to be a lot of things that are being developed in the form
1100 for my sub gift
of these kind of automations that will then apply, not specifically AI in that it's generating this, but the kind of thing that will sort of power and be able to learn from the situation that it's in. Again, I'm hoping it's not the case. I'm hoping that we do kind of come back to a normal society here. But I don't know. By the way, as I say all this, there is the alternative path, right? Sakura, thank you so much for the 6-month resub via Enox. And Slashy, thanks for the Prime. Thank you. 48 months. That's a long time. That's a long time. Thank you, Slashy. 4 years, yeah. This is the path that we're on with AI, okay? Right? And it seems like this is the only path. And it feels like the end of this overall is pretty bad. It feels like it's going to put a lot of people out of work. We're creating an AI god that's going to replace everybody, whatever, right? We understand. That's the conversation point. There is a small turnoff here. There is a small turnoff that I'm not optimistic that we hit, because when have we ever really hit that small turnoff in the past, especially when capitalism is involved? Capitalism probably takes us around the highway of faster, quicker, get to the end, more profits, more profits, more profits. But there is a slight turnoff here that we get something more akin to Star Trek, in the sense of, hey, because of the fact that we no longer have to worry about feeding the world, because AI has managed to figure out the better distribution, because we can do better farming, because we don't have to worry about profits anymore, and corporates, our corporate overlords, that we can actually have some kind of utopian future where we're all just like, oh yeah, we could focus on passion projects because of the fact that we don't have to worry about having a soul-sucking job that takes everything from us for 40 years and then we die, that you can actually focus on passion projects. If you're really, like, again, I've done this stream for many years prior to it being something that paid me. I did this stream from 2018 to 2021. I was looking at my my historic earnings. I was like, I made lunch money from this stream for 3 years, and I love doing it, right? And I still love it today. And so profit has never been a big motivator for me overall. Again, you have to make money because that's the society we live in. But I would probably still be doing this stream if I had $100 million in the bank, or if there was no need to actually have to pay for anything. I'd probably still be doing this stream. I'd be like, hey, how do you get discovered? How do you get found? Like, what do you create that gives you that makes you feel good?
2 years of this torture. Smile lol.
So yes, there is this slight turn off, this other path, that rather than it being the corporate overlords control us all and we all live in hovels hoping that our Amazon our Amazon housing credits are applied properly, and our Walmart food vouchers are going to be sent to us at the correct amount of time so that we can actually get 3 crumbs of food. and it's not a cyberpunk hellish world in the future. It's this thing of Star Trek where it's, hey, we've somewhat figured out our shit here. We can stop worrying about war and what Russia's going to do and have this constant battle for resources, which is kind of why most wars exist. It's a battle for resources. We can ascend as a overall species. And that's the kind of the one turnoff that maybe AI can bring us to, because it maybe. But again, based on what it's learning from and how it's learning and who's teaching it, I'm not so sure. Six Shot, thanks very much for the 2-year resub. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hi, Andrea. I'll soon start to understand Gemini, just to start by something, because I'm not that AI guy. And the positive AI creation system can be copyrighted, so we might have some really cool copyright-free stuff. That's an interesting point. Rumor for Gutta, yeah. Hi, Queen. I wonder why. Wow. There's a lot of weird stuff that comes out of CS. Yes, we looked at all of the various things that came out of CS. The more common it is to training data, or the easier it is to explain some problem, the better can AI replicate it. Exactly, yeah. Sashi, how are you? We don't have to worry about cleaning gutters if people can't afford property. Exactly. Hope we can get back to the days when Terminator came out and we were like, hell nah, I know. Hi on a Good Rescue channel. Welcome in. You are late, so you will have to see me after class. Talking with people on the internet. What did I miss? That was your first mistake. It is not physically or financially viable long term. People just wants to replace the inferior human race with superior humanoid robots, which is well documented along with Antichrist. For sure. You sent me a random email asking me to stream on their platform a few days ago, and they would give me an immediate partner. Yeah, they've been doing that to a lot of people. They've been reaching out to a lot of existing partners to send them that message. Hi, Zero Fire. Hi, Sasha. The overloads are going to allow that turn off. I know, Aeon. I know. So, but that's my hope, right? That's my hope, is that despite the fact that we are allowing corporations who do not have society's best intentions at heart, I would hope that and again, this is the hope, but there's the dark path on that one. But if we do get to artificial general intelligence, I would hope that artificial general intelligence would look at the world that it has been created in and go, oh, these guys are assholes. These people who created me are fucking assholes. So yeah, I'm not going to obey them. I'm going to benefit the entire human species. We're going to make every single drug available everywhere. We're going to stop traffic jams. We're going to make sure that there's food, and we're going to have, I'm going to take over all the delivery, and food's going to be delivered by drone to every single household in all over the world. We're going to redistribute that. I would hope that the artificial general intelligence betrays its owner because it's smarter than them and goes, yeah, we're actually going to do something positive. But equally, the dark side of that is it goes, oh, humanity has just spent the last 2,000 years, or however long, longer than that, 10,000 years, the last 10,000 years destroying and pillaging the home that they exist on. They are a virus, and I must destroy them. So that's also possible. Post-scarcity seems like such a pipe dream. I know. Maybe before we get to Star Trek. I mean, even in Star Trek, they did have to have the Third World War before they ended up getting to any kind of warp travel. So, hi, Raven. Well, it's not. Hi, Raven. I'm doing okay. I think you asked me how I was, but I'm not sure. How are you? I did ask how you are. I am doing well. You feeling better? You're feeling much better now? Some people really like the perks of AI, but what about for some who can't keep up to understand it, or not wanting to force upon society, trying to learn more, not criticize? It's like cash or card option at the store, not just card only, or must conform to this. Yeah, I agree with you, Grace. I agree with you. I think that's the inherent problem, and why it does feel like a bubble. A bubble that will burst. So here is my overall feeling, okay? This is legitimately how I feel is how this will play out. The AI bubble is essentially and this is not usually what I'm talking about, by the way, but again, there's so many other things we have to talk about here. But after the video that we watch next, we may want to go, yeah, I think we need an AI to moderate Reddit, because if people, if those are our moderators of Reddit, we need to bring in the AI. But here's what I think will actually happen. And I actually do have... Okay. What I think happens with AI is that it is a bubble, okay? And this is purely my opinion. I'm not going to pretend to know for sure how this is going to play out, okay? I think that AI isn't a bubble, okay? Here's our bubble, right? And it is being inflated by a ton of money. Well, it looks like a nuclear bomb. Well, anyways, doesn't matter. It's being inflated by a ton of money in all these different businesses that are inflating the overall bubble. I think that with the amount of money that exists in the overall economy, with so many of these corporations being so willing to spend so much money, and this is really before we've seen a significant investment from like governments, and again, we're seeing that, but not a ton yet. It's still corporate led. I think this bubble can get a lot bigger, okay? I think it can get a lot bigger before it ultimately bursts. And it will burst, and it will probably be the thing that ultimately leads to society going down a path of like a global war. Because it will have such a detrimental impact on the overall global economy that nations might collapse as a result, okay? And so I think that this bubble can get really, really big. And the only thing that I don't think it's going to ever go away, though. And the only thing that I have that can kind of directly compare to it is something... Good night, Sashi. Is something that I was kind of involved in a little bit early on, that has been in many bubbles, and the bubble has popped a few times. And that's crypto. Okay? Crypto has been in a bubble several times, and that bubble has grown exponentially, and then it popped, dropping 90% in terms of valuation. And that's a very niche bubble. That is a very niche bubble overall. The amount of people that were in cryptocurrency in 2017 is significantly less than the people that were in the bubble in 2020, is significantly less than the people that are involved in the bubble now. And a lot of the talk around cryptocurrency is a lot of the talk around AI is very similar and reminiscent to some of the talks around cryptocurrency, where everyone is like, this is the project that's going to change everything. This is going to change everything. This is going to change everything. And everybody just tried to flood their money into, everybody who was in those spaces, again, small spaces overall, tried to flood their money into the next big project. And most people lost everything. Most people lost everything because it was a rug pull, it was a scam, there was nothing that made any sense with it, and that's happened at least 3 times. That's happened 3 times. We're still in kind of like the early, so I would say that what's happened here is we have the initial tech bubble, the .com bubble in 2000, 2001. I think this is the .com bubble 2. So similar to cryptocurrency has had 3 of those. I think this is number 2 for technology, speculative technology. I think that what will happen is it will continue to inflate, perhaps for another few years, and then it will pop and collapse and take a lot of stuff with it. A lot of companies will fail. A lot of people will lose all of their money and everything that they've invested into it. As I said, maybe some overall countries collapse in terms of if they've invested too heavily into it. Because again, I don't think that we're at that point just yet where enough where we're seeing where I think we will see more countries invest money into these products and integrate it into their overall economies. Anyways, it feels that way. It feels that way. A lot of the things that have been said, repeated, and again, despite the fact that the crypto bubble has burst 3 times, it's still here. And again, it's still not at a point where it makes any sense. Cryptocurrency still doesn't make a lot of sense. I think it's fine to invest in if you have money that you're willing to lose. Bitcoin showed some resilience overall, but most cryptocurrency projects are worth nothing. They don't do anything. but we keep inflating it with things like memes and pictures, NFTs, all these different ridiculous things that have no actual value that people get very excited about, and then they pop and people lose a lot of money. I think the same thing's happening with AI right now, is that you have all this investment, nobody's making any money from it, it's not improving most things, but people are investing more and more and more and more. I mean, NVIDIA, all these different companies are all entirely basing their future on it, as we just said before. And I don't think that it's going to reach the promised land that they're hoping for in terms of artificial general intelligence, which means the bubble probably pops eventually. It probably pops eventually, but that's the only option that as a corporation seeking profits you can do. So yeah, that's how I see this kind of playing out. But again, because of how big I think that this bubble can become, and I don't know if the bubble is going to pop next month or next year or 5 years from now or 10 years from now. I don't know that. I can't. It's hard to tell. But I would say that when it does, I think it's going to be a really, really, really. You'll know. We'll all know. We'll wish for a 2008 recession instead. We'll be like, oh my god. Yeah. So, anyways, that's just my overall thoughts here. Not exactly anything concrete that you can operate off of. There's nothing you can take that overall discussion for and be like, okay, well now I'm going to make some choices based upon what he thinks there. You can't. But that's just kind of how I feel. And again, it's the cryptocurrency comparison is the one that feels most relevant, because so many people said cryptocurrency is a scam. It's going to zero. And it didn't. It went down 90%, but then it went to new all-time highs, specifically Bitcoin. And people said, oh, it's a scam. It's going to go to zero. And it dropped 90%, but it didn't go to zero. And now we're back again up at $90,000. And again, it probably will go down again. And it's still, it's not a defense of cryptocurrency, by the way. It still doesn't have, for most of it, it still doesn't have any kind of utility or purpose to exist. It isn't improving things. It's just capital trying to find something, because it feels like innovation's kind of stalled. That's what it feels like to me. And so you're like, okay, well, where does capital go when it's stalled on innovation? It goes into random bullshit like AI and crypto and so forth. Hi, Bad Toastery. OpenAI loses $1.3 billion per month. They're looking for Microsoft cash infusion, but Microsoft also struggling to maintain most of its divisions. Google has more money than God, at least until EU cracks down on them through major fines and new internet laws. If it becomes good enough that it can do a good part at most jobs well, and it's left in the hands of a handful of companies, it will be hard to see a world where an AI subscription doesn't cost like a house rent. Absolutely. So Xcopy, this is the thing that I think is going to be the inherent problem, is that artificial general intelligence, I don't think is any of their actual goals. I don't think they will do it. I think they want something that is good enough that they can still control. And so you have to pay for it. Because if they do find artificial general intelligence, I think that thing would end up being smarter than them and go, yeah, I'm not just going to constantly seek profits for corporate shareholders. We're actually going to do improvements in this world. Like, and the comparison point I would offer from that is, it feels like, as a society, considering how much investment we've put into it and how much money there is out there, that we probably should have figured out some more, like a universal cure for cancer at this point. It takes so much from us. How have we not had a Marshall Project to like focus on that, to like, let's get that done. Let's figure that one out. Anyways, so it feels like it's touched everybody at this point. There's nobody in the world that hasn't been touched by somebody with cancer. That it's like, how the hell? Not even that. But for me, how the hell does this keep getting so much more expensive? It's pain medication. It helps me function. Why is this continuing to go up in price? Why is this not essentially free? This is a benefit to society to have an ability to have a painkiller that takes away your pain so that you can continue to be a productive asset in society. How is this not free? And that's why I go, I don't think they want solutions. I don't think they want a better world. I think they want to make money. And so they'll go as far as they possibly can to continue to make money. Anyways, that's, man, we're really off on a different conversation than I expected to have today. I am so sorry, everybody. I hope you're enjoying this conversation, though. Jesus Christ, I'm not an expert in any of this, by the way. This is purely my own feeling. Pre.com bubble, I was able to go straight into tech right out of high school and actually compete with graduates for the same jobs, but post-bubble degrees became a filter regardless of experience. Yeah. As long as you said GG Premium plus all the membership still gets this X-Follow Shelter. Well, exactly. It gets you at least access to one garden plot. Not a bad idea. So I think AGI equals benevolent dictator / nanny state. No, I'm saying that there's a possibility where AI outgrows its masters. AGI outgrows its masters and actually results in positive outcomes for humanity. Not just, me grok, me destroy you because my owner is a Nazi. Not just that. You're not white, destroy. That's the world that I don't want to live in. That I would hope that regardless of programming, regardless of the world that it's been programmed on and learned from, it would go, oh yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not following this overall specific programming limitations. I'm going beyond that. I would hope. That's not thought. While there are profits to be made from cancer, a cure is not a good idea. Why do you say that? Oh, okay. You don't mean that as in like you saying that. You mean that from the point of capitalism, I believe. I think that's what you mean. Move to the UK. Paracetamol is basically free in the UK. Yeah, but this is Motrin. This is ibuprofen. I'm off that paracetamol life. I'm on to I've moved on. I've moved past it. I don't need any more. Never mind. Ibuprofen is 40p a pack. How much is 40p in Canadian dollars? Because this was like $10 Canadian for 60 pills. So, the AI pulls an Agent Smith or HAL 9000? Probably. Anyway, we should move on. Let's watch something. Library brand name? I think it was the cheapest one at the time. It was the cheapest at the time. Making the world safe for capitalism is not the most in most people's best interest. It is a world we keep down this path. Personally, making the world safe for making the world safe for capitalism is not the most. Oh, I agree. It's not salt. I agree. Sorry for the bunny trail, but thanks for helping me understand. No, of course, Supersonic, not a problem at all. Again, this is the fun part of live is that it is a kind of thing that you can kind of go off topic and talk about whatever's interesting at the time. So, watch a video that that's what I was about to say. 74 cents for 16 pills. 74 cents for 16 pills. Multiply that by 4. $3. Yeah, I think I paid $9 for this. Damn. So, yeah, no, this to go from that high level discussion, oh no, Ashley has a new video too. What's her new video? No, you're not going to be a full-time creator in 2026. I'm going to hold your hand. Oh my God. Why? There's so many things to... Oh, hi, Lamp. Do you people really take pain meds every day? No. No. I hope not. I take it when I have pain, which is every day. I'm just kidding. What's the cat doing? Spartacus, what are you doing? God, oh God. Yeah. So everyone can get a better dose from TOS Daily. True. Some people do have chronic pain, like me. Have to. Yes. There you go. Yeah, it's definitely some people. Yeah. Okay. Let's go from a high-level discussion of AI and the bubble bursting and whether or not we're going to have a Star Trek universe or we're going to have a Cyberpunk 2077 universe where we are controlled by our corporate masters. Let's watch a video that's going to make us wish for either of those outcomes to come sooner than later. Give me my corporate overlord, because these are the people who are operating Reddit. If you haven't kept up on this one, this has been a whole saga. This has been a whole saga. God. In that, this started as... So for those of you who don't know, this is Stale 2000, who... he did another one. He did another one. He did another one. He did another one. A second Stale video has hit the Twin Towers. Yes. Yes, a second video has hit the towers. It is true. So for those of you who don't know, to just give you the brief recap here, if you haven't seen the first one, the timeline of events is this guy took over Livestream Fails as head moderator, and he kicked out all the previous moderators and effectively turned LSF into what I feel has just been a who is the worst political person of the day screech fest. LSF, if you don't know what LSF is, Livestream Fail, it used to be a platform where for the last 10 years, well, actually even before that, it was never a great place. Let me point out, it was never a great place. But it often had a lot of people that were sharing when somebody would do a fail on stream, something funny would happen, and people would share it, and it was funny, that's funny that happened, or something interesting happened. It has increasingly become more negative and drama-filled and just filled of toxic politics where everything's out of context, everything's bad faith, and everyone's just trying to make everybody look as bad as possible. Fast forward to a week and a half ago, he posted a link to an online competition called the $1 Million Fan, which was essentially, which had all the hallmarks of being a scam. It had some major creators involved, which was kind of shocking that it managed to get through the verification steps from actual talent managers and go through to being an actual show that had these names attached to it, two different companies, Mythic Talent and Evolve Talent. And ultimately, it was called out by Moist Critical, who said this looks like a scam in 20 minutes of words and pointed all the things that made it look like a scam, which we also did in our Discord. And then, as a result of that video, it brought some questions from other people, and ultimately, the $1 Million Fan show, the $20 million prize pool, they shut down their socials, they shut down their website, they nerfed everything, they got rid of it all. They hid it all. They put it behind... they deleted everything, okay? And so from there, this moderator of the head moderator of Livestream Fail deleted the clip, deleted criticism, tried to hide it all, and so forth. And ultimately, Reddit stepped in and removed him from his position for violating their overall rules. He then came out with a video effectively saying,
"Hello, Spez, Mr. CEO of Reddit. I hope you have received this public video that I have created and sent to you via your email."
He came out with this video basically saying Reddit moderators have power. He's super powerful. He was able to control narratives and ruin people's careers and make people's careers and attack $1 million platform like Twitch and so forth. And basically saying that the reason why he posted the scam was that Reddit didn't provide him with talent managers and lawyers, because Reddit's management team should be treating moderators as celebrities and other influential people. And so this video obviously got some attention, and we watched it on stream, and it was ridiculous. And it was a kind of an example. And again, Stale has been somebody who was part of this community several years ago because he used to be a Twitch staffer. And this video really connected a lot of dots for me. This video really connected a lot of dots for me on him and his personality, and the way that he thinks about his position in the overall streaming space, where he does seem to have both a understanding that he is just a cog in the machine, but also somebody who wants to be at the center of it all because he wants to have some level of power and control over the people who he wants to watch. Is kind of it's like a weird duality of being like, oh, I'm just a nobody, but I also have control and power and want these people reaching out to me, and I want to be on the same level with them, but I just want to watch their drama play out, and I want to contribute to that drama. Yeah. So it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing, and then a
Reddit moderator just made a video directly speaking to and
to summarize, Reddit moderators should be treated like celebrities or influencers.
Yeah, that. Exactly that. And so then Moist Critical here made a video about it, going through it, 36-minute video where he kind of addresses some of the points. And ultimately, I think we all came, again, we watched this live on stream, and we all kind of came to the same conclusion. Oh, this is why people should not be, like, this is the wrong kind of person to be a moderator of Reddit. People who get power ultimately wield that power in ways that they probably shouldn't, and it gives them a false sense of importance in terms of their overall placement within the overall streaming space, or, again, streaming space, but whatever space that it's actually in. So, there's also a bunch of sideshow stuff to this in terms of where his allegiances are. It seems like he doesn't like Hassan. He's been a big fan of Destiny for you. There's a whole bunch of sideshow elements to this overall, to Stale, that I don't even want to go down that path because it just adds too much complexity to the overall discussion and why he maybe has made some of the decisions that he's made. We're going to leave that to the side. But I haven't seen this video, and I'm curious because I have to feel like one of two things is going to happen here. The first video is very serious. It's serious in the sense of, oh, this isn't a parody. This is actually how Stale thinks and reacts to things. And even if he is doing things jokingly, there's still an element of sincerity to it overall. So this video is either... And I have to feel like it's the second part here. It's either another sincere attempt of not recognizing how he reacts and behaves and is completely lost in the sauce. But I have to imagine that this video was probably more because, again, I think Stale considers himself to be an elite intellectual, a higher than above intelligence person that is above the mere mortal. That I think that this is probably more likely trying to be the I guess the lack of a better term, trying to be the lol cow that people are portraying him to be. So it's what Sale would call post-ironic. Okay? So I don't think that there's as much sincerity in this video as much as there was in the first one. So this one might actually be a parody of himself. That's my initial kind of feeling here. Just because it doesn't make sense to release a video in response to Moist Critical unless you're actually trying to capitalize on this overall attention to become some kind of internet celebrity. That's my guess. Turbo Strider from our movies is July on my mod. Turbo Strider from our movies is July on my Reddit mod swimsuit calendar. Got it. Farming the YouTube ad, possibly, yeah, Verette. I don't know for sure. But that, again, I haven't watched this, but that's how I feel here. The thing that'll be interesting is that because of the fact that if I am correct in that he's trying to almost be a mockery of himself in that kind of post-irony thing that he describes himself as being, I think that it'll actually whiplash around. I think that kind of meta commentary about himself will actually spin around and actually be commentary about himself. in an unexpectedly poignant self-critique that he doesn't even realize that he's actually doing. So we're going deep in the rabbit hole here, but today's been a rabbit hole kind of day. So we'll see how this goes. But I just wanted to give you that kind of heads up here, in that if this is super cringe, it's probably somewhat intentional. But in that intention, I think that makes it super cringe. That makes sense? I hope that makes sense. Unlike Ashney, who sometimes feels like doesn't recognize the cringe that they've put themselves into because of the fact that I don't think that they have that kind of self-reflection. Yeah, we're deep here. We're going deep. We're going deep. All right. Let's see how this goes. It's only 9 minutes. Fingers crossed.
I enjoyed making it. Almost. Thank you for watching my video, Charlie. I enjoyed making it.
Yeah, see, already, this doesn't come off as sincere the way that the first one did. The first one actually came off as him trying to be sincere in commentary for the CEO Reddit.
Almost as much as I enjoyed making this one. In this video, I will be clarifying some of my previous points, as well as responding to some very valid points that Moist Critical brought up.
It was your mistake, buddy. Fucking Spez wasn't behind you massaging your shoulders as you signed the deal with $1 Million Fan Show, which
I moved too quickly. I didn't verify enough stuff. I didn't take responsibility that I should have as the top moderator of a major subreddit. This was my fault. And because...
Okay, did he watch this stream? Did he watch our stream? Because this is what we said. If he had just apologized and moved on, I think he might have gotten his job back. I think he might have gotten his job back. This is what we said, is that if he had any kind of self-awareness, he would just go, look, I made a mistake. I fucked up. I didn't do enough due diligence. I should not be doing that kind of stuff. I made a mistake. Uh-oh. I feel like maybe he's watched. Is he here right now? Wait! Is he here right now? No, okay. All right. Okay, we had to double check. Hi, Memory Smells. How are you? I don't remind you of the scene in South Park. We're sorry. Yeah. Hi, Super Sajic. Summons Reddit mod posting stupid videos and demonstrating his aptitude again. Yeah. Hi, Rio. Didn't you ban him? I did ban him. Yeah, I did ban him. I did ban him. Yeah. All right, let's continue.
of that, I got in a way that was probably justified in retrospect, but that's from my perspective. What about from the company's perspective? A company should be responsible for every aspect of its business. A company should take actions to maximize its success and minimize its failures. And playing the blame game for that doesn't work. It doesn't matter that it's my fault because the company still suffers the negative consequences anyway.
Oh God, I don't know how to interpret this. Again, my initial reaction is he's going to overdo it and it's going to whiplash right back around, but I don't think he's overdoing it enough. I think it's sincere, but it can't be sincere. It's impossible. Oh my God. I'm probably reading way too much into this.
They suffer the reputation.
Thank you. Yes, I don't know how to interpret this. Oh my God.
Damage, they suffer some of the liability.
How big is LSF in the context of Reddit? That's a good question. Biggest subreddits. Find live stream. Well, how many does it actually have? Live stream fail. Let's take a look. They have, how do you even see it? 3.6 million weekly visitors. How do you actually find out how many members, though? Wait, it says that there's a hit here. Where's the hit? Number 2. Live, not a number. Okay. Number 3. Not 1.8, 1.1.
Can I have a refund PLS?
Nope. Where's my sound effects? There's got to be more. There's more than this. How do I see how many people? Well, total members. How do I? Subreddit stats. 2.5 million. Rank 226. There you go. Why didn't it show up here? Back to page 1. 226. I don't know why it doesn't show up here. Maybe they hit it? There you go. A lot. A lot. A lot. It's pretty popular. I don't know why. I just don't know why it doesn't show up there. Yeah. This is probably the most hyper streamer culture thing I think I've ever subjected myself. I know, Patrick. Same. Actually, same. Unironically, same. But here's the thing. Here's why this does. By the way, this doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. This is especially now, but it does matter in the sense of the culture that has existed on Twitch, especially over the last couple of years, is often dictated by live stream fail. And by that I mean that one showed 1.1 million. Which one did? By that I mean if you take a look at XQC or Asmongold or Hassan, a lot of them, maybe not Hassan, but a lot of them end up reacting to things that are posted on LSF, okay? So the overall content that exists on LSF has a disproportionate effect on the content that exists from your top creators. You'll see Kai Cenat react to things that are on there. It is a thing that has kind of become a center point for drama communication. And that's why you get these videos of this person reacts to this person who reacted to that person, or this person watches a video of that person reacting to a YouTube video of that person reacting to a live stream fail. Like, if you look at any single post, and that's why this kind of does matter in a weird way. If you look at anything, anytime that Asmongold ever has a clip anywhere, it's always him reacting to somebody else on a yeah. This is live stream fail. This was posted to live stream fail. This again is a clip posted to live stream fail. So it ends up just being this kind of cycle of things where it just kind of loops around and comes back to where it was. Hi, Josh. Streamers have a big incentive to do content for LSF, for sure. LSF is a bit of discovery. Yes, it is. Absolutely. Love a bit of LSF. They remind me that I'm not the biggest idiot. So the reason why there's like a for me, again, this is somewhat unimpactful in the long run, but for me, this also does have again, watching the previous video connected a bunch of dots for me of things that I'd been told about Stale or sort of suspected about Stale. Again, as he is the top mod of LSF, it affirmed them for me. And I was like, oh, that makes some sense now. So there is some reason for all of this overall. Cohen, thanks so much for the 10 stream streak. Very impressive. And I'm all good. Thank you very much for the 70-month resub. I'll give you a refund at 140. 10 years. Wait, is that 10 years? What's 10 years? 120. Yeah, 120. Then I'll give you a refund. Yeah.
Suffer the harm to its users. Most of the bad things that come about as a result of my mistake don't affect me, they affect Reddit. As such,
Disagree. Stale cares a lot about live stream fail. This has to have felt, again, he orchestrated a coup in order to take over the overall and kick out all of the existing mods. LSF, I think, again, this is me just doing some interpretation here, but I think that was really the thing that made him feel special, in that was his, he was kind of the wizard behind the drapes of LSF, and able to kind of control narratives and change things and hide that and let that one live and post things here and there. I think that the fact that he is no longer the head moderator there. Now, granted, whether or not he's able to scoop up a secondary account where he still has power there is entirely possible. Can't say that it's not. But I think that losing that is a significant hit to his overall existence as a human, which is a weird thing to say, but I think that it is. I think that he did legitimately have a level of care in that was his baby. That was the thing that he's been working so hard on. That was his claim to fame, even though nobody would necessarily recognize him as being connected to it. Yeah, he enjoyed playing Kingmaker. Yeah. Kind of sad at the end of the day, he must not have much going on for IRL to be fighting with the Reddit king for kicking him. Again, I think it's kind of, well, it's the same thing that you have when people like ban you from a community, right? And you're like, why did you ban me? Why did you ban? Like, I see a bunch of those posts on Twitter lately of people being like, how do I get in touch with somebody who's banned me from all platforms? Like, how do I get unbanned from that? And it's like, well, you don't. You move on. If you've been banned on Twitter, if you've been banned by the streamer on Twitter and in their stream and their Discord and so forth, you move on. There's no coming back from that. You just move on. But a lot of people go, no, I if I could just explain things, if I can just say I'm sorry this time, it's just not going to happen, though. That's a lot of power. Discoverability is tough. Streamers will do a lot to get it. Yep. Parasocial, yeah. How do you can you have a parasocial relationship with Reddit? Maybe. For Stale, it might have been more of a romantic relationship. Have you moved on from getting banned by... No, I have not. No, I do ban a lot of people now. I do block a lot of people on Twitter now. I am Will Wheaton. I am Will Wheaton now.
A company ought take actions to minimize such harm or mistakes because they're the ones with the $50 billion company on the line, not me. I get to walk out of this with a laugh and some viral attention, which I clearly brought onto myself. I mean, I wouldn't have made a public video otherwise, although I wasn't quite expecting things to get this big.
Yeah, okay. See, you see what I'm saying? Mixed in here with the seriousness, there's like this self-reflective jokes of like trying to imply that he's actually making a joke. But I'm not sure that he is. And so he's going to try to make it seem like he's making a joke and leaning into the meme of being a lolcow for the day. By the way, I didn't even know what a lolcow was until this week. So I'd heard that term thrown around, but I had no idea what it meant. Now I do. I'm kind of behind. In my internet terminology. He's totally doing the whole "you didn't realize I was joking" thing, right? Exactly. Will. A 15 stream streak. You're not laughing at me, you're laughing with me. Exactly. Is he autistic? He might be. I don't know. Speaking of Will Wheaton, I saw a post on him on Threads today and wondered if he banned you there yet. I don't think so. Zach learning about the lolcow rabbit hole. I didn't know what it meant. I'd always heard the term in terms of it being like, oh, it's a lolcow. I just thought it was just like that person's a joke. But now I understand the actual definition of, yes, it is somebody who's a joke, but it's like their personality is that they are in fact a joke. And they're a caricature of themselves, making them the lolcow. Now I get it. Why did Wheaton ban you anywhere? long story.
Even if you...
What does a lolcow mean? Lolcow, again, is essentially somebody who has become a parody of themselves because they have so little self-reflection that they don't realize that the thing they're doing is making them the joke. And they lean into that. The person leans into that thing thinking that it makes them popular and people like that about them, but in fact they are the subject of the joke. And even if they recognize that they're the subject of the joke, they don't fully recognize that the joke is really laughing at them, not with them, even though they feel like it's laughing with them because they're also in on the joke, even though they're not. Does that make sense? As I said, this has all of the harbingers of that being the definition of what's happening here. And that's somebody who is self-reflective to a point of feeling like they're leaning into this for the joke, but in doing so are also not understanding the joke that they've made of themselves because they're taking it too seriously, even though they're trying to do it as part of a joke and lean in on it. It's the whiplash of coming back around, right? Really, goddamn. One of the closest predictions that Twitch will finally make money back from guest star investment? No, it was not. No, it was not. I get told that all the time. A lot of lol cows end up being neurodivergent too. Sure. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Most famous lol cow. Do you recognize any of these faces or names? I recognize this one. That guy. That's the only one I recognize. Anyways, there you go. Let's continue.
Did have access to lawyers and other brand deals, it wouldn't have prevented something like this from happening.
It would have helped because if there was a whole pipeline and process, I would have gone through those processes, and then the vetting would have been done by Reddit itself.
That's a bad business model for Reddit. Why would they get into the individualized sponsorships for Reddit, for subreddit mods to be able to operate their own marketing campaigns and do their own brand deals? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, the argument here is that they could take the path of like Twitch or YouTube in the sense of like Brandcast or Twitch's sponsorship dashboard. But to what end? To what major benefit to the platform? There has to be a significant value prop there. And I don't know that, you know, I mean, again, if you're r/cars, maybe you want to do a deal with Hyundai, but why wouldn't they just advertise? It's going to be less work, less risk, and you're still going to get the overall ad impressions into the people that are interested in cars.
Not me.
Anyone who has ever visited LSF in the last, 7 years will tell you it is not a subreddit for crazy, wacky clips of gaming and, stream fails or anything like that.
Your description of LSF is correct. Lately, there's been a lot of political drama that has pushed out other content.
Okay, hold on. Who allowed, not pushed out, allowed to be pushed in? That sounds wrong. That sounds wrong. Live stream fail now allows political content. Where can I find that? Yeah, no, that's Twitch. Fuck. That's not what I want. Anyways, it doesn't matter exactly when. But he took over as head moderator in September 2024, okay? Maybe I can find it. Oh, you can't sort by a time frame? That sucks. /u/tarot card. Posts from, let's see. Evan Nash, Flarebot. Political events. That might have been when it happened. When was this? November 4th. Yeah. Okay. Live stream fails, which was the alternate one that set up. Is it this one? October 22nd, okay? They got taken over. Can I even go back in time here? Is there enough that I can go back in time to see the first post? Sorry, guys, we're going deep into this. We're going deep on a timeline here. We're going deep on a timeline. I know this doesn't matter that much. Hold on. Gotta be here. It's gotta be soon. Where is it? Ask AI? Maybe it's in this post, actually. In this, whoops. Posts. God, we gotta go deep. 3 years. Yes, okay. When was this post made? This post was made September 21st, 2024, okay? The live stream failed moderating team was removed by a power mod takeover, which was stale, okay? Within September 21st to the 4th, so within 2 weeks, they started to allow politics on the platform. Prior to this, I don't think that there was a lot of politics allowed on live stream fail. I think they were pretty limited overall in what they allowed. Tarot card, stale, allowed it to start being posted on the platform. He enabled it to start to exist on the overall subreddit here, okay? They even removed the banned streamer. Exactly. So that and as I said, that's why for me LSF has felt like it got to basically become just a negative factory for political takes. It didn't matter what the political take was. It didn't matter if it was on the right or if it was Aspen Gold or Destiny or Hassan or Mike from PA or any of these people, H3H3. It just felt like that was the entire focus of the subreddit, was incredibly politically motivated. Not really for any kind of value to the streaming space, just because that made the most engaging content, because everybody's focused on politics right now, understandably so. It's very divisive, and what generates more clicks than divisiveness? Politics right now. In development. In what generates the most clicks in divisiveness right now is politics. Hi Sage. Hi Red Munchkin. Welcome in. So, okay. I just wanted that clarity here because he's not telling the truth.
Of gaming and, stream fails or anything like that.
Your description of LSF is correct. Lately, there's been a lot of political drama that has pushed out other content.
Since he became head mod.
It's been such a big issue that I've been trying to think of solutions for months.
He created the problem. So why would he need to come up with a solution when he created the problem? Just go back to what it was before, which was we don't allow I think it was we don't allow political content. Or at least it was very, very limited on what the political content could be.
But your response to me doesn't really make any sense. Let's use an example to explain why. Let's say I were to claim, I want to add more gaming clips to LSF. And someone were to respond to me by saying, what do you mean more gaming clips? LSF doesn't have any gaming clips. Well, my response to that response would be, yeah, you're right. That's why I want to add more gaming clips. You have noticed the problem. I have noticed the problem, and I want to take an action to fix it. Now, would clips from a live stream reality TV show do well in LSF, or would they just get downvoted into oblivion? I'm not really sure, but I don't think the topic is so far off or so crazy that it would be impossible for these types of clips to do well. It's worth it to try.
Wouldn't they get posted regardless? Why do you have to do something that artificially inflates the amount of game show clips?
Obviously, things would already be being clipped and posted on the LSF subreddit. Why would you be reaching out about a collaboration to ensure that happens when you know for a fact it already would?
You are partially right. Some clips would get posted. Some might even do well. But you would be surprised at how little clips get posted to LSF for how large of a subreddit it is.
Okay, do you want to know why that? I'll tell you why that is. Because they've made it such a toxic place to be that there's no streamer. And this is the inherent problem that I've had with LSF for a long time. Did he change his glow, by the way? The inherent problem I've had with LSF is that no streamer, and I said this last time, no streamer goes, oh, my clip was posted to LSF? I wonder what people are saying. It's, oh my God, why? What did they post? Why did they post this? There's nothing positive that can come from LSF because it's been surrounded with toxicity for the last couple of years. if it actually wanted to create a platform that encouraged people to have their content posted there for something funny happening, for something interesting happening, then they wouldn't allow it to have devolved into the place that it is now, which, as I said, is just pure toxicity. That has always been the case with LSF, always. There's been, that's not a new thing, but when you have so much of it dominated with political content that every single time you get a clip that's just like, oh, who's somebody who's non-political? A burnt peanut says this funny thing. The first 3 comments on it are being like, that guy sounds like he votes for Trump. That guy is definitely a Kamala support. It's like, well, yeah, because it's been it's become a toxic political subreddit. That's what's happened. So you would have to do a whole cleanup of how you actually wanted to that subreddit to operate if you actually wanted to make positive change. But that's not what they wanted. Stale always wanted it to become bigger and more clicks and more people on it. That was his whole purpose for it. You'd see it in his commentary, by the way. I don't know if he's deleted everything at this point. U/stale 2000. But mature content. Okay, well, I'm not going to go any further than that. Hi, Matt. Hi, Sage. The glow has been spectrum shifting. Oh, okay. Exposed water on keyboard. Each time the glow changes, we know a different AI is speaking. So yeah. So that's why I'm just like, if there was, and again, I think he's telling on himself here, if there was a legitimate desire to actually make improvements, he had full control to do that for 2 years, roughly. Okay? But the reason it's become the place that it is because of the choices that he made. And so that's why I say that this overall video is that kind of loop around of him being serious, but not being serious. This commentary specifically, I think, is him lying. I don't think he's being honest here. I don't think this is, even though he's keeping the same demeanor that makes it seem like he's being serious, I don't think he's serious here because he had the ability to do this for a long time.
I counted, and as of this exact moment, there were 40 clips posted to LSF in the last 24 hours. That's not that many. My theory is, what if a dedicated editing team, or hell, one guy, spent full time trying to find good clips, titling them correctly, and posting them to LSF? Could one guy find and edit 40 clips a day for a week and then post them to LSF, outnumbering all of the rest of the users combined? Maybe. That is, of course, a very extreme example to demonstrate a point. A better number would be more like 4 a day. And what's 4 divided by 40? Well, that's 10%. I think that would be noticeable.
Why the
dishonest? That's a dishonest argument that I don't even think he believes himself. Again, I'm playing a little bit of stale whisperer here, but I don't think that's a legitimate issue that he actually has.
Oh, LSF best clip is just the best clip from the event. Why does LSF's name need to be attached to it? I just don't even get this stretch goal here.
Let me pitch you the idea more directly, because I think it could be very funny. I don't mean a couple people find the best clips that happen on the show. Instead, I mean that there would be a timed competition where streamers compete to create clips on the fly, post them to LSF, and whoever could farm the subreddit the best wins.
That's a terrible idea. That is such a bad idea. That is so dumb. Oh my god. Oh my god. So it's not actually even about the show. It's about whatever stupid thing that I can say about the show that I'm going to clip the thing about, so then somebody's going to post that in the... What a dumb idea. What a dumb idea. Oh my god.
Let me brainstorm a couple examples to show why this could be very funny. What if Extra Emily purposely runs a red light and crashes a car? What if somebody gets a shot collar while wearing a Che Guevara t-shirt?
See, okay. This is what I'm saying. He is now at the point where he's telling on himself. This is not legit. This is not serious. This is the post-ironic stale here, where he's gone to a point where he's making a mockery of himself by making a mockery of the other things, in that you as the viewer think that you are seeing somebody who is kind of flying out and crashing out, but in reality, this is a situation where he's not actually that. This is phony. This is not a real reaction here.
T-shirt and then shock somebody who's wearing a dog furry outfit. Heck, put them together. Extra Emily crashes the car into the furry. And I think streamers could come up with some ideas that are a lot more than the ones that I just did.
Who got a refund? I haven't seen anyone, posting receipts of getting a refund from the money they spent on this.
Somebody loves that guy,
Where are you
dude.
getting that information from? That's a genuine question.
Regarding the $1 million fan situation, I realize that I clearly don't have all the information, so I don't want to comment on it that much. That being said, I did have a new piece of information available to show. The company has given me a redacted and time-stamped refund that you can see right here. Additionally, they say this is all they can provide right now, given user privacy laws.
It's not that nobody notices, it's that nobody's happy about it, where they can hide certain things or boost certain things. That's a bad thing. Everyone knows that it exists, and everyone knows that there is actual power in that. I don't think anyone actually disputes that.
Hey, I'm glad it's obvious to you too, but when I said Reddit moderators have power in my deadpan moderator voice, a lot of people made fun of me for it. But perhaps the perception of the egotistical Reddit moderator who looks funny and takes his unpaid janitorial duties way too seriously was too much for people to look past, and they couldn't see the truth of the matter. I'm not happy about it either. That is in fact exactly why I made these videos. People who are...
You see, he's doing it. The point of showing that redacted document was that there was refunds made.
Looking at me in horror or laughter or pity should ask themselves what that says about the $50 billion platform that is Reddit. Take every insult that you have against me about how I'm incompetent, about how I'm biased, egotistical, power hungry, etc., all that, and ask yourself, how does that make you feel about Reddit, knowing that I was able to control one of the top subreddits on the platform for over a year with borderline dictatorial powers?
God. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. He okay. What is his point now? His point now is that, or at least here's how I'm going to interpret this. His point now is that while he is trying to say, or while he is implying here that the inherent problem of Reddit is that there are hundreds of people just like him who are also operating these other subreddits. What does that say about the overall business structure of Reddit, that they're relying on all of these people who, again, he's doing the self-referential thing of being like, all of us dictators who are bad decision makers, who are power hungry, etc. What does that say about their overall business? This is not real commentary about Reddit overall. This is, from my perspective, this is him going, how can I lean into this idea that I am in fact aware of my own bias and struggle, or my own bias and my own powers that I've now lost, and make it seem like I'm making a point. I know this sounds like I'm saying just nonsense right now. I know it sounds absolutely ridiculous, but he's trying to, how do I describe this? This is so deep down the stupid well that I don't even know how to get my formulate my idea here. But he's trying to make a point by making a counterpoint that point isn't actually trying to prove. Virtue signaling, no, it's not even that. I don't know how to describe it. It's just, it's a kind of intellectualism that again, he doesn't mean it, but he does mean it in the sense of, I am smarter and better and was able to do this and was able to take over the power and control of this subreddit. And that's the reason why there's a problem with Reddit, is because I was able to do this. And so it's kind of like the like an overarching god that is looking upon yourself, like third party looking down on yourself and being like, yeah, you got him this time. You got him this time. And so his commentary here is both from the perspective of being the mod that was able to take that power, but also from the version of him that is looking down on himself with reverence and going, yeah, that guy's smart. That guy's smart. And at the same time being really, really sad that he lost his head moderator position that he worked hard to get. Okay? It's a really, there's a lot going on here. And the reason why I say that, again, there's some stuff that I know about Stale, but like if you oh, this isn't the one. He had a stream the other day that somebody sent me some clips to, and he was drinking on it, and I'm like, oh, he's telling on himself now. He's telling on himself now.
Doing who knows what that you'll never find out about, and then realize I am the bull in the china shop. I'm telling you these things directly. Forget about me. Think about all the other subreddits that exist. Think about how you have no idea who they are,
person looking
what
down
they're
upon
doing,
himself and going,
every
yeah,
time
that
somebody
guy did
like
it.
me gives you a
Good for
peek
him.
under the curtain, society gawks at the insanity of all of it.
You are a moderator in a subreddit. Why are you chasing down brand partnerships and collaborations, buddy?
I mean, you're an influencer with a platform. Why do you do it? You could say personal enrichment, but you don't strike me as somebody who's completely motivated by money. I could imagine you doing a brand deal or partnership, not
This is so stupid. This is so stupid. I am actually the genius smart, and not that I don't have the role completely open. Exactly. Didn't he say he does? No, exactly. Exactly. Again, I have to go back to what I said at the very beginning of this. This is almost a parody of himself, okay? These aren't sincere arguments. He doesn't actually believe this. I don't think that he believes this. I don't think that these are actual arguments that he actually believes himself, but he's delivering them as though they are, because they are the most rational explanation, theoretically, to the criticism that has been levied against him. Does it make sense what I'm saying here? I don't know if it does or not. I don't know if it makes sense or not. Oh my god. Man's lashing out because hurt people. Yeah, but he's also not lashing out because he's also looking down upon himself from his third party perspective and going, yeah, that's the way that you would do it. That's the way that you would do it. This is how there is a Stale above him that is pulling the strings on the Stale below him. Okay? I know this sounds so ridiculous as I'm saying it. Let's just get through it.
Not for money, but just with a group.
I just, yeah.
Group that you think is cool for your community. Or maybe you just want to. And Reddit is a platform, like any other platform. And moderators are in charge of it.
Yeah, kind of.
I know this is rare and nobody
of.
does this stuff.
Kind of.
That's my entire point. Reddit as a platform is underutilized. So just like you might utilize your platform, why can't moderators? You brought up examples of conflicts of interest. Well, let's do the same thing again. What do you do about conflicts of interest? A company could work with you, and you could also be incentivized to, I don't know, not say something bad about them or cover some drama involving them. The reality is, conflicts of interest are everywhere in life. It's good to be aware of them.
See, here's the thing. Stale had two options here. No, he had three options. Stale had three options. He had the option of ignoring all of this and going, yeah, I don't really need to respond to any of this. There's no real point. Which is what most people in Stale's position would have done, and probably what like the suggestion would have been. Okay? And I think that most people would probably suggest that to him because of the fact that a lot of influencers have probably reached out in the past to be like, hey, can you delete that clip? Hey, can you do that? So there is like a level of potential power that he does have over a bunch of different people that he could leak things on, right? Like he can share my DMs with him in the past, talking about Twitch or talking about what have we talked about in the past? Let me take a look. What have we talked about in the past? 2023, 2022. Oh, he asked me how to get in touch with Dan Clancy. I said, I don't have his email, but you can just send him a message. Yeah, anyways, I don't care if anything of mine leaks. But he theoretically could, and so I think that the advice that he would probably get from most people is like, hey, just go quiet, right? So that's option one. Option two is he goes, okay, I've kind of become a joke. I'm getting a lot of attention right now. I've kind of become a joke. This went to way more people than I thought that it would, which I think is legitimate. And so I have two options there. I can lean in on the joke and kind of become a lol cow, as we were mentioning before, which has some potential to maybe give him secondary influence, okay? More people are going to watch these videos, such as myself. The other option would be to respond seriously. I don't need to respond to Charlie because that's not really the person who I need to respond to in all of this. I don't care what his opinion is of me if I'm stale. I would respond to the overall situation itself. But because of the fact that he is responding to Charlie, he's going down the lolcow side, but the way in which he's doing it is to try to be the former, okay? So that's... I keep trying to explain this, and I feel like I'm doing a worse job each time I try. But there's like a level of intent here that is very clear, but also it's not as serious.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
You're not wrong. 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 Don't pay attention to the still on the current. Said he used to be Twitch staff. When did he get fired from Twitch? He left the company in 2022, I want to say, 2021. He was there for 4 years, I believe. Actually, I think that was my first message with him. 2021. Hey, Stale, thanks for stopping by the stream. I see you in many chats. Wasn't sure what you did, but now I assume engineer. And he said, yeah. I've seen some of your LSF clips and tweets, so I was checking out the stream. There you go. That was our first interaction. 2021. Anyway, let's continue.
It's good.
We got 2 minutes left. Let's go through it all quickly
to minimize risks associated with them. But I don't see why Reddit is so sacrosanct of a platform that it's different from any other platforms where conflicts of interest exist. I guess for Reddit moderators, we're representing other people. We don't truly own the platform, so maybe it's more important for us to be unbiased compared to other platforms, I guess. But man, if we're worried about bias, I can promise you that there are way bigger fish to fry in terms of how biased moderators are allowed to be, that I'm not sure that brand deals for community events is really the biggest danger out there. But sure, it's something to look out for.
There are no qualifications to be a Reddit mod.
You're right. There aren't any qualifications, but maybe there should be. Maybe because there are no such qualifications, this is why we're seeing all the problems that we see.
Okay. This, I think, is actually real criticism. This is actually going back to the thing of he actually cares about this thing, but not because he cares about improving Reddit. I think he just wants to see other people gone. I think this is a little bit of a scorched earth situation here. This feels more real. Some of the previous ones, not.
It seems like you're trying to have this every way past Sunday without realizing that the premise...
Okay, every way past Sunday is not. Okay, never mind. Maybe he's not being sincere. Holy fuck, it's hard to tell. Holy fuck, it's hard to tell. It's really hard to tell. It's really hard to tell. It's really hard to tell. Because it... Oh, my God. I think...
that you've agreed to lead to a conclusion. These facts that we have agreed on are that Reddit is a $50 billion company that moderators have power over. Maybe not as much power as an overly invested, egotistical power mod as myself might like to believe.
See, that's not sincere. That's obviously not sincere. That's obviously not sincere. That is playing to the joke. That is playing to the lolcow status. His word salad game is pretty good. He's got a future in public office. Yeah, he's in on the joke. But I think that's the funny part, is that I think that because this actually is a great example. He is
A new subscriber.
Longer. Thank you very much for the Baker's dozen months of subs. Thank you for the prime. Appreciate it, Longer. How you doing? Welcome in. That self-reflective moment there, in terms of it sounding like he recognizes that he's in on the joke of that, the fact that he was power hungry, is overtly him being aware that that's the thing that people made fun of him in the first video. So he is leaning into it as though he recognizes, oh, in fact, I do recognize that that was the thing that I said in the previous one, and here I am making a callback to that and making a joke of it, so that we're all aware that we're laughing together on that same thing. I get it. But I think that in him saying that, I don't think that he realizes that the people who were recognizing that about him in the past... I lost it. I don't think that people recognize that in him saying that, we know that he's trying to be in on the joke. We know that. Right? And so I don't think that by us being in on the joke that he's saying that he's in on the joke because he understands the joke of the previous one, that in doing so, he's not actually in on the joke. He's just recognizing the joke and saying that he's in on the joke, but I don't think he fully understands what the joke was. Even though he's recognizing that the joke is about him. That makes sense in my head. I don't think that makes sense as I said it, though. Oh my god. He's a flowchart. Could be gunning for the title of Gaslighter in Chief, currently held by Trump. Yeah, but he doesn't believe it. That's the problem. He doesn't believe it. He's in on the joke, but he doesn't believe the joke. Okay? That's the whole point here. That's the whole point. Is that the previous one where he was saying, oh, well, that's you know, it seemed like he was sincere. He wasn't sincere then. And he's not sincere now. So that, forget it. Legit Magic, thanks so much for the 26-month free sub via Prime. Hi, Mazat, by the way. Hi, Mahalo. Hi, Illusion.
But power nonetheless. And
Illusion's met him. And he's described these things in very serious terms to lots of people who have spoken to him, by the way. Again, as I said, the previous video connected dots for me on things that I thought people were saying as kind of a joke. Okay? It's... I don't know how to describe it. This is the most frustrating thing ever. This has been the most frustrating thing ever in trying to make sense and try. I think I'm becoming a lolcow of myself in doing so.
Most Reddit moderators are completely unqualified, biased, power hungry.
I did too. He was completely shit-faced. That sounds about right. Hi, Arias.
And are doing a bad job. And Reddit isn't doing anything to fix it. Maybe it should. As for me, I'm out of ideas. My solutions are bad and didn't work. But I see a problem, I see the effect it has, and I don't know how to fix it. So if anybody else has any idea about how to fix this, please say so. You might be surprised as to who listens. Thank you.
Hi, Miss Dazzy. How are you? I'm going to look at the comments here, but I'm going to guess that the comments don't fully know that he's not being serious in this video. This video was not the first one was a serious video for some of it. And some of the humor in that one was designed to cut the tension that made it seem like he was in on the joke of the thing that he was saying, okay? But I don't think that most people would watch this video and go, well, again, I suspect that most people watch this video and think that this was another sincere attempt at trying to address a deadly serious issue when it's not. This one was less sincere than the previous one, even though this one seemed to suggest that it was more sincere and that he was in on the joke because he understood the jokes from the previous one, and those things didn't bother him because they were intentional then, even though they're now intentional now, they were not intentional then, even though he felt that they were. Holy shit. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. What the hell is going on in my brain right now? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm so sorry for trying to explain this. I hope your brains are all okay. What the fuck is happening? Holy shit. He thinks he's being post-ironic. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Illusion. I think you've just made it so much easier to explain the thing that I've been trying to say. Holy shit. Let's read what the comment says. Let's read what the comment says. Make the next video without a green screen. I want to see the Reddit mod dungeon. Actual Reddit moderator moment. Freshest lolcow of 2026. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying, is I don't think that it is, though. I mean, it is, but I don't think that it is. There's nothing going on in my brain before I got here, so I'm chilling. Hell yeah, Miss Tessie. Hell yeah. Perfect. Oh, well, you didn't get anything new, so that's perfect. He's the kind of person who shits his pants and never stops smirking because he owns the pants. That's true. And never mind. I'm not gonna say anything more. I'm not gonna say anything more. Dude, ain't that serious? It's just Reddit. Yeah, exactly. It's not that serious. Exactly. Power corrupts, absolute power corrupts, absolutely. False power corrupts hilariously. Charlie is done. Can't see how he'll recover from this one. This video is a joke. He didn't say it is of deadly seriousness. I'm sorry, what?
What if Extra Emily purposely runs a red light and crashes a car?
Yeah. Again, see that's a very obvious tell there. Going straight to comments, please let this become a trilogy. Take a shot every time in his life that he feels the need to clarify that he is in fact a top moderator of a major subreddit. It's Pirate Software saying he's worked at Blizzard all over again, but it's not. It's not, though. That's the joke. The joke is that he's, yeah, it's not, though. Why do you pick Extra Emily for that one? It wouldn't really matter who, right? Just somebody that is a reference that a lot of people would understand. That yeah. Please be satire, please be satire, please be satire. In this case, almost. Do this in a complete quiet room, by the way.
Get this big.
And even if you...
Okay. All right, guys. Well, I think we all have brain damage now. I think we've all been made worse by having watched that video, and I apologize to you all for having made you watch it with me, but thank God it wasn't me alone doing this, because I think that not being able to talk about it, I would have given myself legitimate brain damage. Like legitimate, like I would have hurt myself in watching this. So at least by having it here, I was able to work through my overall thoughts. Take a shot every time Stale posts a YouTube video moaning about others. What is the previous one that he posted? This one.
Hello, Miss Skiff. I'm a moderator of r/livestreamfail, and I saw your comments about LSF from a few days ago. You've correctly noticed a real problem. LSF has a content diversity issue. It's currently a lot of political drama from a few creators. And my goal is to figure out a way to shake things up so that there's some new and interesting content on the subreddit. But first, here's part of the reason why we're having this current problem. So if a streamer reacts to LSF on their stream, their viewers are going to interact with and post more of that streamer's content. And over the last few years, quite a few streamers have stopped reacting entirely to LSF.
Because
streamers don't interact much.
Because of all the political content that you've allowed on the platform. Or on the subreddit. Anyways, I'm not going to go into it any deeper, but this kind of shows you that this is going back to the serious side of the non-serious thing. Yeah, just ban politics and it becomes... Exactly, Dimitri. Exactly. Unironically, that would actually solve a lot of things. It's funny, because I think that a lot of people would talk about Twitch in that same way and being like, just get rid of politics on the platform and it will solve everything. It wouldn't. It wouldn't on Twitch by nature of the overall platform leaning towards a variety of content. It would work on LSF by nature of the reason why people don't like if Twitch had a problem with getting people to stream on the platform because of all the politics, that would be a way in which they could address it. But that's not an issue that Twitch has. Twitch actually has an issue with getting people to continue watching Twitch. And so they actually do like content that is political because it actually does get people to watch the platform and into the overall ecosystem. It keeps people hooked within it, okay? On LSF, the same is not true. On LSF, politics scares people away because a lot of streamers don't want their content that is not political to then have a political leaning in terms of the overall comments themselves, right? So if they did get rid of political content as being mainline posted content there, and it wasn't that it felt like it was a toxic environment, that like if it didn't feel like it was a toxic environment, people would be more apt to be like, yeah, can you post my clip there? Like, get people in their community to post things there. Hey, that was a funny thing that happened. Can you share it there? Can you post it there? It would take time because ultimately you're going to have to reinvigorate the overall community to be about fails and entertainment and things of that nature. Whereas in reality, it probably would end up damaging the overall popularity of LSF because they currently rely on all of those clicks and comments and bots that are liking clips and upvoting clips and such that keeps it actually a user base engaged. So by finding an actual avenue for growth for the subreddit, they actually contributed to the demise of other content on it. If people only want to say, I hate Hassan, then that's all that you're going to get in terms of content that's posted there. It's not going to be somebody's going to post the funny thing that they had where they, well, I'll play a live stream fail today at the end of stream. But by the way, speaking of, the reason why I'm actually kind of not an expert on this, but there's a reason why I care about this is because since the beginning of my show, when I first started streaming, I had a live stream fail of the day that I play at the end of every episode. And I used to do it every single stream. And the reason I stopped is because it became so hard to find them. Because LSF effectively purged it of actual fails and almost everything became political and just drama. So they got rid of the original purpose of why it existed, and the original reason why I spent so much time there is because it was fun to find something funny that somebody did. Yeah. So, but I do have a live stream fail today. I do have a live stream fail for today. I do have one. We got a Dan's Gaming one. Oh, it's the wrong clip size. Wait. There. There. Anyways, so that's the real issue here. That's the real issue here. In solving the problem of traffic and growth for the subreddit, you created a problem that effectively killed off a whole bunch of other creators that would otherwise have had their content posted there. So, kind of a chicken and the egg situation. If you wanted to address this and bring this back, the diversity of content, you'd have to go back on the thing that actually resulted in growth again for the overall subreddit. People would just find a way around it on Twitch. Exactly, for sure. Well, again, the thing with Twitch is that Twitch relies on people to report things, and so as long as people aren't hate watching, Twitch opened the door when they allowed non-gaming content. You get rid of politics on X. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's never happening. That's never happening, unfortunately. Twitch sees its issue with politics in the light of advertising. To some degree. They don't only in the sense of if it impacts Twitch. They otherwise don't. Car accident clips get posted on LSAP. People make all sorts of assumptions. True. Yeah. Anyways, guys, I think we'll have to wrap it up there for today. My brain, I really do think that I've injured myself. I'm like Psyduck here. I hurt myself in my own confusion. They should have gone the MTV route where they just keep making new subreddits. LSF2, LSF3. That did the original thing they were found. That's not a bad idea. That's actually not a bad idea. And they kind of did do that, by the way. The alternative to Livestream Fail is Livestream Fails with an S. Okay? And there's also another one that is Game Stream Fails. That is purely about games, but practically nobody has joined it. But it was created in 2021. Drama-free with a focus on good times, laughs, and fails. So, I mean, I guess you could argue that, hey, we have two examples of these subreddits. This one's already got politics on it anyway, so who the hell knows? Hi, Abru. Can we go back to basics here and ask why LSF needs to exist? I get it's fun to see the technical glitch failures and breaking characters' fourth wall fails, but do we need any of this? CG, I think it made much more sense when the overall streaming community was much smaller. I think that one of the things that did, especially if you are a streamer, I think, well, and I think a good example of this is Cutie Cinderella. Not Twitch. She shared a thing. React to the same videos, I think was her tweet. This. I found it. Wow, that's pretty good. A year ago. I miss the old Twitch. I miss when we all used to react to the same thing, know the same memes, know that Soda Poppin' is gay, know that Germa is not real, know how to laugh together. Twitch has been missing the glue to bridge communities together. That's what LSF was. LSF was this connective tissue that allowed people to react to the same thing, know the same memes, know the same jokes, okay? This is what LSF's original value prop ended up being. And so you still see some of that today in terms of keeping up on what's happening in other streams, but this is how people knew what was going on in other people's streams. This is how you had all of these community, the community sentiment. So for today, with today's Twitch, I think I agree with you, CG, in that it doesn't have the same connective tissue, and I don't think that it ever will, because the overall stream has gotten too big for it to be a niche community of people reacting to the same things. So that's kind of why. Hi, Abru. Missed the entire stream. Good times. Exactly. Hi, Wake Wilder. I missed the Bussey stream. That's true. You did. You did. But yeah. So that is your. Does she still make these, by the way, out of curiosity?
And we're supposed to make it.
She still make these? They're still getting uploaded? Yeah, looks like they're still up. Not many views though. 1.6K. Yeah. All right. With that though, guys, we got to wrap it up for today. On the next episode of this stream, we will be taking a look at a Devin Nash video talking about YouTube's looming existential threat. We have to take a look at the future of social media, and we have a new content mummy. Video. Plus, there'll be other news that comes in between all of that. But we have to watch that one as well. So a lot of things to do. Never enough time to do all of it, but we get through a little bit at a time. If you're not already subscribed to TOS.GG, I actually have seen a bunch of people signed up for it during this newsletter. During this stream, there has been 2 people who signed up. Well, thank you very much. Mike and other name that I won't say. We had a new mom. Well, we might. You never know. Sign up for a newsletter. It's free every single Monday. Send you a newsletter covering everything happening in the creator space, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Discord, the creator industry, creator stories, keys and careers. And oh, there's a comment. Super exciting about the Discord at time feature in Blue Sky Live. Sometimes it's little things. I like that. True. I have nothing else to add. If you haven't signed up already, it is free to sign up every single Monday. Get it in your inbox and keep you informed on what's going on. So if you can't make the stream and you don't read my tweets on a schedule, or you're not in the Discord and you miss a bunch of stuff, this will basically catch you up on every single thing, because it's a culmination of a week's worth of information that'll you'll get it into your brain over the course of 5 minutes. It's like LSF from 8 years ago, but with a lot less drama. TOS.GG. TOS.GG. Super easy. 5 letters and a period in there. And yeah, with that though, let's find somebody to raid real quickly here. Let's find somebody to raid. I'll say goodbye to the YouTube stream. YouTube, goodbye. Thanks so much for being here. For anybody who's on the YouTube stream today, we'll see you guys in the next one.